Hi, my name is Kyle and I'm going to show you some quick, easy ways to set up your MIDAS Pro series console. So on the MIDAS Pro 2C, I will show you how to hook up the DL251 and the Surface to begin audio operation. So what we're going to do is go to the automation page, which is the top button on the quick access section. To the left hand corner and create new. Here's where you'd label your show. Press OK, and now you're in a global safe scene. What the safe scene is global 0 for the desk, basically the starting point for the desk. Nothing is assigned, nothing is labeled, only default patch on the rear of the console is the only thing that's actually ready to go. To start writing to the console, what we need to do is to skip away from that safe scene. So I click on the empty scene right below it, hit store on the console, label this first scene as my setup page, and I want to get as far as I can on this page before my client comes in to start checking audio. Press OK, and now you notice I have the not saved at the top of the screen with the illuminated save button. It's a store save process in the MIDAS consoles. Store on the console to the scenes of automation, save on the desk to your actual show file that you just created. So the first thing I want to do is to set up an input strip the way it needs to be set up all the way across the console. I want to keep this under 5 minutes to show you how fast it really is. So I've selected channel 1, and in the side of the screen I have the channel overview. These little clear buttons will navigate you through different sections of the channel strip, whether it be the EQ section, your dynamic section, or channel overviews. So the one that says input channel overview is the one I want to work in right now. I'm going to turn on my stereo, I'm going to turn on my EQ, my compressor. Now I want to go through and turn on my auxiliaries, all 16 of them. No repercussions to turn them on in the digital world. It's just easier to reach and go if they're already all on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this screen and apply it to the rest of the input channels. So I'll go up with the mouse ball or the trackball, press copy, select another channel, right click on paste, and paste to all. What this is going to do is whatever's in this screen right now is going to apply to the rest of the console in that section. Whether it's just inputs, it'll apply just to inputs, auxes, it'll apply just to auxes, and outputs, it'll just apply to outputs. So now every channel has the stereos assigned, the EQs are on, the compressor's on, and all my auxiliaries are on. The next step I like to do is to label my console. And with the quick access section, I can select inputs and outputs on the desk and go right to my inputs of the console. One of the cool selling points about this console is I can start typing in this very first input up here and just hit return and keep typing all the way down. Now that I've made a quick input list, what I want to do is assign those to VCAs and pop groups. So I will go to the VCA button, quick access, and label these how I like my VCAs to show up for a front of house mix. Now that I've labeled my VCAs and one of my pop groups, what I want to do is now put those items into those VCAs. And the quick way to do that is to press and hold. So I have kick, snare, hat in my first VCA. I will go grab my kicks, my snare, my hat, and select them, make sure the little black box goes around them, and release. Same with my toms, overheads and brass, my bass lines, my guitar left lines, guitar right, my keys, and my vocals. Now that I have those assigned to a VCA, it breaks them down into smaller versions on this side in your input channel list to get quick access to those items really fast. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to color them on this page because it'll save a step in the process. So the second box is your color palette. I will make my drums red, my bass blue, my guitars, I'll do this magenta color, my keys a darker green, and my vocals white. Now that I've put those in the groups and my VCAs are colored, this little paint bucket at the end of the designation, I can go and paint those VCAs and those items that are already in those VCAs, those colors. So now I have corresponding colors throughout my VCA groups. The next step I want to do is to make sure my sends and my returns are up. I'm going to go to the output section of the desk, and this will bring up my aux sends that I've already turned on. I just need to turn the master fader up for those aux sends. I know I'm going to assign 2 verbs and a delay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn up to 0 those 3 sends. The next thing I want to do is to turn up my returns as well, and I also want to put the returns in a pop group so I can get to them really fast. So in the 2 and 2Cs, your returns follow your input list. So if I scroll through my input list, I can get through return 1 through 8. I'll push those up to 0 just so I know they're passing, and I will also press and hold on my effects and put my returns right back in there. Now I have a quick access to all these items and my effects returns. Now what I want to do is patch. And when you're working with the MIDAS Pro Series desks, you have to think very analog. Forget what you've learned with other digital consoles and remember what you used to do when you were setting up an analog world. You had one hand going to the other hand to patch something, and then you had to return it as well. So in the left hand you have to patch to, and it's from and to. So in the quick access section, you go to patching. Now that the I/O boxes are configured, you see the 2 blue boxes will be the DL251. That's the 48 channels on the back of it. If I go to the I/O tab on the right hand side, you're going to see the 16 outputs of the DL251 there. Everything that is in a gray box is physically on the back of the Pro 2 surface or Pro 2C surface. The easiest way to do patch is to select the auto function at the top, go from your I/O to your inputs. Underneath where it says ID in the DL251 area, press and hold on the left mouse button and draw a box around that section of 24 channels and make those inputs yellow. Now what I'm going to do is take them over to the right hand side and patch them to the surface of the desk. By hitting the very first channel, I patch 1 through 24 with one press of a button. So I'll do that for the other 48 channels that I'm doing as well. (25 through 48), one push of the button, green, green, they're patched. Now I've done some work on the desk, and I always want to remind you, if you've done some work and don't want it to go away or need a stopping point, press store, overwrite the scene that you're working in because you're still setting up the console, go to your automation or filing page and hit the red save until the not saved indicator goes away. Use your home button to navigate to where you are working. Quick process to set up 3 effect units. So go to your quick access section, press effects and graphics. The first depress will get you to your effects rack. The second depress will get to your graphics rack. First we'll do effects. Go and click on anywhere in the blank screen. Go to the change device type and select the device you want to put in there. I'm a fan of the reissue of the 780 for a reverb. I'm going to put a vocal reverb in there as well with the D section, or the X navigation section. I can press down to the next device, and I'm going to go ahead and put in a hall for my vocal reverb. Press down again, and I'm going to put in a delay, a regular delay. And I'm also going to check this box so I can use my global tap button on the desk to adjust the tap of the delay when I navigate away from this page. I will put one more effect in there and show you how to insert an item on an actual individual channel. One of the units that I've used a lot that I like to use is the 3-band compressor. And I usually end up using that on vocals or bass guitar, or anything that needs frequency bandwidth compression. So the first two items are my verbs, the third is my delay, and the fourth will be an insertable item. What I'm going to do is probably my drums, my vocals, and my vocal effect, and then I'll put this on a vocal that needs a little bit of love. So going back to the patching page, patching and quick access button right there, I will go to my buses on the left hand side, from to my effects on the right hand side. I'm going to patch aux 1 to my top effect, my first reverb. And to double patch that stereo, if I wanted to send mono to a stereo effect, I could just reselect it and make sure both of the inputs are attached. Same with the second. And I usually just do mono for delay sends anyways. So now I'm only halfway. Remember, you're patching very analog. When you used to have a clamshell of units that you had to patch, you went from the desk to your clamshell of effects units, from your effects units back to the console. So now I want to go from my effects tab on the left hand side back to my inputs on the right hand side. Now I could patch these right back into some open channels, but I have 8 aux returns right here. So what I want to do is select this first unit and go to aux return 1. Select the second unit, go aux return 2, and select the third unit and go aux return 3. The only thing you lose by using aux returns in a normal input channel situation is your dynamic processing. Everything else is exactly the same in advanced navigation mode. Now I want to drop some third octave EQs in on my outputs of the desk. And this will also show you how to stereo link a pair. So what I'm going to do is navigate back to my home screen, select my left channel, and go up and hit this button that says link. You can only link left to right. It doesn't have to be even or odd. It just has to be right next to each other, left to right. So now that I link that, these two buses are adjoined. If I need to change the parameters in the link and see what is actually linking between the left and right, I can navigate to this little clear button by the high pass and low pass and the phase reverse. And on the screen, there's a button right next to the illuminated link that says Link Options. What that will do is pull up a pop-up window that gives you the options of what you want to link between the left and right channel specifically. Now that those two channels are linked, I can go to my effects and graphics page and go to my first graphic, click on it to make it large in the middle of the screen. Drop down menu on the left hand side will show me where I can put all these third octave EQs. If I scroll down to the bottom of the list, master left, and since those are linked, I will have master right in there as well. The most important thing to remember is to turn the EQ on. Now to show you how to put this last third 3-band compressor inserted on an actual channel, as if you were inserting this via analog. So what we're going to do is go to my patching page, go to my insert sins, which is basically going to pull up something that looks like my inputs, my effects tab on the right hand side, and I'm going to find that center vocal that I want to put that 3-band compressor on. So if I scroll over these channels now, my labeling will travel with those channels. I need to go from my center vocal to that effects channel and make sure they turn green. Halfway. Now I will go from my effects tab to my insert returns from that 4th unit, the 3-band compressor, to my center vocal channel in the insert return section. I can go back to my home screen, select my vocal VCA, select my center vocal, and now on the GUI it says insert will activate that 3-band compressor, or there's a hardware button right in between the dynamic section and the parametric EQ section that I can turn it on right there. So I'm actually about ready to start passing some audio, and since I did this pretty quick, it bought me some time to kind of check my patch. I started using the internal talk functions on the Pro Series desks a lot to check my patch. And on the quick access section, there's a monitors and preferences page. First depress will give you the monitors page. The second one will go to your preferences. The first one is where I'm going to start using some oscillation to make sure everything's passing through the console as it should, and getting to my effects, and getting to my returns, and getting to my left, right, and hitting my EQ, just to make sure my patch and everything is good. So at the very top of the section, I can depress pink. If I need to adjust the level on it, I can click in the center of this knob and move left to right to adjust the level. I usually start low in case I have speakers hooked up and if things are unmuted. Use the internal oscillation, and then there's 4 sections of talk routing right here. I can talk to all of the console, which would be all of the outputs. Notice the only ones that are patched are the ones that are showing up. So aux 1, 2, and 3 are patched. If I go to my aux return section, those are outputs that are patched as well. If I go to the second green button here, which is press and hold, this will show me across my inputs what is getting passed through. So all my inputs are seeing oscillation as well. If I need to see all of my aux section, that is the next to press. So my first 3 are lit. That is because I'm passing signal just to those first 3. That's all I patched. And matrix section, since I have none of my matrices passed, it'll go straight to my left, right. The easiest way to do it, and usually what I do, is select my very first channel, and at the top of your channel strip you have a green talk button. If I press and depress that green talk button, I'll see pink coming through my first kick channel. What I'll do is I'll push that to 0. I can see it's making it to stereo. Now I want to get that channel to some effects units to make sure I'm passing as well. So now that I'm selected in that channel, I can go to make sure my yellow box is around aux 1, and now I can go ahead and start passing some signal to there. In the channel overview screen, I can now see input 1 has pink passing, my aux send has pink passing, and my return has pink passing as well. I'll turn up channel 2, and I'll turn up channel 3, just to make sure all those are passing the same exact way. I'll check my returns, and I'll make sure that in this mode, these are assigned to stereo because they need to go there as well. So I can go in and just designate the stereo button so those are passing to my left, right as well. So now that I've checked my work with some pink and made sure all my inputs and outputs are passing signal, I'm ready for the band to walk in. Okay, my client has arrived and I'm ready to start sound check. I made sure everything is passing on the desk where I need to be, so the last time I'm hitting store, I'm going to overwrite this last setup scene one more time, and then I'm going to start their sound check. So, we'll start at this vocal channel. Hey, 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 I can see signal here. Here's my stage box for my gain. I'm going to go ahead and give it the analog gain. 2, 2, hey, 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 1, 2, hey, hey, yeah, yeah. 2, 2, 2, 2, hey, 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 yep, yep, yep. So I'm going to drive that pretty good, just like I would on any analog desk. Make sure I get it up there into the nice yellow, so you're getting the nice warmth of the MIDAS Pros. So what I'm going to do now is push that channel up, hey, 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 send that to my vocal verb, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I see it getting to both spots. I see my left and right meter, and then I'm going to continue on sound check with the analog gain like this. Once I get everything set on the desk, I can go up and hit this swap button right beneath the gain control, and that will turn all my trims into the digital realm. So now I can go in and attenuate -40 or +20 in any situation. Now, once I have a nice sound check going with all my channels, everything's ready to go, I've made some adjustments on the desk, I've done some EQing, I've went through my whole input list, I see everything that I need to see. Now when I go to press store, I'm going to store that to the next scene, label it show start or sound check. Go to my automation and filing page. As you can see, I have red is my last scene where I did all the setup on the console. Yellow is my sound check scene that I'm in now. Go up and hit the red save. I'm saved and the band can go take a break.